Good morning, Karen, Malta. It's wonderful to connect with you today and to really just have a chance to discuss this beautiful and amazing new book, the second in the series of the Guiding Grace series from Sandy Rogers and Sharon G. Jordan. This one is Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends, and Legacies. Why did you decide to participate in this book?
Well, I truly am an international caring connector. I am known throughout the world as Karen, the Caring Connector. And Sandy Rogers is a dear friend of mine, as is Sharon. And they really are experts on networking and connecting with people. This book is an avenue, a device, if you will, to ideally and hopefully connect with people around the world.
Beautiful. So tell me about what your passion is. You talk about being the connector. So that's
Right.
fascinating to me because I work with lots of authors that are looking for opportunities for great connections.
Right. Well, my passion really is helping people connect. First, their head and their heart. So they connect with yourself first, right? It's sort of like that scenario of put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help others. So I think being authentic to who you are and discovering what your passion is and what speaks to your heart and makes you sing is so important to all of us because we each one have unique, special gifts and talents that we need. The world needs us.
Yes.
And so I help people connect with who they are, what their passion is, and what their purpose is. And then I try to express what my passion is, and that is connecting with people because if you think about successful people, there's not one of them that's super successful that doesn't have a team or an inner circle of connections that help them be successful. So that's really my area of expertise. I help people connect with themselves, and then I help them connect and make connections that matter, not just acquaintances, but connections that matter.
That's beautiful.
So I also connect. I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe in God. And I also embrace all faiths and all beliefs. I think it's important to have that skill set, if you will, and appreciation of diversity. So I embrace that as well. And my connections, I connect with angels for sure, both here on earth as well as heavenly messengers. And I do that through my angel project, which I talk about in my chapter in my book. It's service without strings. It's connecting in gratitude for the blessings that we have to others that might be going through struggles. And that's another reason I wrote my chapter, is to kind of express and explain some of the struggles and challenges that I've gone through, but have because of my skill set and because of the challenges and surviving of those, I now, with passion, with credibility and empathy, can relate to people who are struggling with grief, domestic violence, abuse, bullying, all those sorts of things. So that's my heartfelt desire, is that when people read my chapter, they'll look at some other perspectives on ways to connect and maybe recognize the angels in their lives.
How fascinating and beautiful.
Thank you.
So in the takeaway for somebody that's going to read your chapter when they pick up a copy of this book, what's the main takeaway?
The main takeaway is that grief is something that we all will probably have to process in one form or another in this lifetime, in this journey. You may grieve somebody that their body has physically left and they've passed away, but there's also other types of grief.
There is.
Divorce is a grief, leaving and changing homes. All those things are types of grief. And going through that grief can be a healthy thing. And you have help in getting through that grief if you just go within and ask, and also recognize the earth angels that you have in your life that can help you through that journey to make it something that you survive and you thrive and then you serve.
That's beautiful. Well,
Thank you.
I'm looking forward very much to reading uh, your chapter. Actually, I think I am in the best position. I get to interview everybody before the book comes out and read their chapters.
Well, we're so grateful for you. Thank you for being our publicist angel.
You're welcome, and just delighted to, that for the beautiful people like yourself that have stepped up and said yes, because it's the value of storytelling that just really makes an impact on our world. And more of us, the more of us that do that, the better the impact we have.
I totally agree. And it's a mechanism of service. And I think that's what's wonderful about the previous book as well as this book that you helped us with, is it's sharing our wisdom and our little golden nuggets
Yes.
to help others, because together we do much better than trying to do it alone, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And one of the biggest things with all of this, yesterday I published a book for Teen Suicide Prevention Society. And it was another compilation book. There were about 25 people in that book, and we interviewed all through the day. Became #1 international in about 5 countries. And but it
Wow.
was so amazing because each one came with a story
Right.
and the passion to help end suicide among young people, teenagers. But besides that, and each one had a story as to why they were in that book and what their message was, and each one was so uniquely different, but I think relatable in every aspect, and I think just in the interviewing, I learned a lot from each one of us. And that's the same with this book, and the wisdom of the Silver Sisters from last year. It was absolutely beautiful.
So I have to tell you, what we've experienced right now is what I consider a tender mercy. You are an earth angel, Becky, and the story you shared is touched my heart deeply. I know angels are with us, because had I not survived thoughts of suicide myself after losing my beloved John, my soulmate, my husband, I wouldn't have had the strength to write this chapter, which is dedicated to him, and also to my dear friend Greg Ziering, who has stage 4 cancer, and his time here, his body here on earth is limited until God can't wait one more day without him. But there is that tender mercy. And for you to bring up the topic of suicide is so perfectly timed, because I touch upon that in my chapter as well. And unless you've gone through severe anxiety, depression, and thoughts of suicide and survived and been on the other side, it's hard to even imagine what that's like. But I am a survivor of that. And my gift, I hope, through this book and others, is to give hope and somebody that cares and can relate and help, and that we're not alone. None of us are ever alone. We have each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we do have angels that watch over us.
And I think that was the overriding. I am amazed at the number of people, when you take a look at them, you have conversations and you think, oh, they've just had it made. They're just so beautiful. But when you have those conversations, those deeper conversations, you find out they face those same issues that maybe you yourself had. They've experienced different kinds of loss. They've been through the dark side, but they're willing to talk about it. And that's what's the important thing, is that we share,
yes.
That we really connect.
Give a voice to it with credibility, because we survived it. And then through service, it helps so much. Mental health issues are real. They're nothing to be ashamed of. And together we can help each other survive. the challenges of mental health.
Beautiful.
So I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, yeah, as am I. So thank you. And the golden wisdom of love, legends, and legacies. What a legacy you're leaving, but it's also a lot of love woven in through that, through the message that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank
Karen.
you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
You
All right.
bet. Bye-bye. God bless now.
And you too.